Hello, everyone. I am Space K Sarah, streaming live from Yerkes Observatory here in beautiful Williams Bay on this very, very chilly and windy day. I am here. I'm going to be streaming 3 different times over the course of the evening, and we're hoping to get people to come in and give us their thoughts and their memories, if you will, of Yerkes. And a couple of people that will be joining us in this live stream tonight will be some of the other organizations and the organizers of this exhibit. Hello, people in the background. And we are welcoming any of your engagement, your comments, anything that you want to contribute in the chat. If you are a fan of Yerkes Observatory as well, please let us know in the comments. We are streaming live, and it has been quite a exciting scramble to set up in a little bit of a different space than I originally thought we were going to be in, but we make it work. This is what we do. So if you're not familiar with Yerkes Observatory, it is a beautiful historic building here in Williams Bay, Wisconsin, which is a little bit next to Lake Geneva, and it's on the water. And it is a very historic, very, very interesting and fascinating place. Amazing people have been here. Carl Sagan, who is my hero, he did his master's work here. Einstein, when he came to visit, had only 2 requests of places he wanted to go. One was to Niagara Falls, and the other was to Yerkes Observatory. And perhaps later we will get some video and footage of the big telescope. But the reason that this observatory is so famous is because it has the world's largest refracting telescope. And this was a big deal when it first came to this area for the entire astronomical community, but now it is not used so much for scientific research as it is more a historic site. And we are just very thrilled to be here for a reopening after it had been shut down for a couple of years due to some ownership transfer. And so we're thrilled to have the Yerkes Future Foundation has taken over and has reopened this. And this is the first star party for it. So I actually see Amanda in the background, and she is going to speak with us at some point as she just sails on by. She's going to speak with us a little bit about Yerkes, but little backstory, little background for me. I actually grew up in Elkhorn, which is very close to here. And I used to come here as a kid. And I have very, very fond memories of taking tours on the weekends when they were free. And now it's such a huge full circle moment to be here and to be able to be doing something like this tonight. So I apologize in advance for any sort of commotion or chaos. We are doing our best on the fly here. So I have actually an assistant over here tonight. What was your name again? I'm sorry. Dylan. Dylan is my assistant. So you might see him walking around and trying to grab some people for us. And we are sitting in an office space to the side. Behind us is the hall that goes up to the big telescope. So we have people that are going to be walking by, the social media team that's in here too. It's okay. We're only live. It's fine. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You didn't say anything bad. And please interact in the chat, interact in the comments, ask questions. I have a pretty decent knowledge about this facility and the different things that are here. And I have my robot Sagan with me too. As long as it's not too busy in the hallway, yes, just keep her in the hallway, okay? And Sagan's here tonight. And I'm just keeping an eye out. Oh, actually, now it caught on to him. Hold up. One thing. Yeah, you just need to make sure you go slow, okay? There's a lot of legs for it to get stuck. I might have to pull a robot intervention really quick. for a second. So I had to just go save my robot. And we're live. And there's a lot of people here. So the event sold out really quickly, which was really exciting. I'm hoping to get Amanda. Do you think you could maybe trouble her really quickly to see if she could come on and talk? That would be wonderful. Thank you. She might be, if she's in the observatory though, then don't bother her. She's doing something up there. Anyway, the beauty of live streaming. We are hopeful to get Amanda here, who is the head of outreach and education, I believe is her title proper. And she was really the one who kind of spearheaded the live or this first star event. I am spearheading the live event. Hello, and there she is. This is your chair right here.
Oh,
I wanted you to come and talk about the event really quick. Yeah, my setup's a little odd right now.
Hello.
And I wanted you to just explain, what you do at Yerkes, what's your role, and what are you excited about?
I have the door wedged open, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
This is the beauty of
Live.
Yeah.
Coming to you. Things are happening.
So your role proper, yeah.
I am officially the Deputy Director and the Head of Science and Education for Yerkes Observatory.
Which is very exciting. That's a very fancy, cool
Whole lot
title.
of things.
So this is the first star party that we are having kind of under this new structure, this grand reopening, this first star party. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited. The clouds have cleared, but it's really windy and cold.
Yeah, it is really windy.
So we will see some stars if you can brave that weather. But we've also opened up the inside, and so people can see the big telescope. We have a planetarium. We have lots of people here today.
So many people
visiting.
Here, yeah.
We have a kids' activity room down that way if you're interested.
Everyone's here for the robot. I had to actually leave the stream and go save the robot because she's like taking off with anybody that's just walking around. So yeah, we have so much going on here. It's really exciting. I think this is just a really cool way. Even with the, it's not bad. It's not bad weather. It's not great weather. It's it's really cold. But
it's the wind.
It is the wind.
You could have rain, you could have snow, you could have clouds, you could have
Yeah.
wind. Any of these things prevent you
It's
from
March
seeing the
in the
stars.
Midwest. Yes.
Yeah, but I think we're going to get some good views of something.
Yeah, hopefully. So if you're watching this and you are still yet to join us tonight, like I said, the tickets are sold out. So unfortunately, if you didn't buy a ticket, you're just gonna have to wait for the next star party. I'm pretty sure there's going to be many more coming up. But if you are coming later, there is a chance that some brave souls, not me, are going to maybe drag a telescope or two out. And so you might be able to see some things. But yeah, the floor is now open, and Glass brought a planetarium.
Oh yeah.
So
they set up an inflatable planetarium on the big dome floor, which is really cool. So people can kind of go in on a balcony and look at the telescope, and then when it's their turn, they can go into the planetarium.
Which, yes, if people have been following Space Case here for a while, I have very mixed feelings about large inflatable things because I managed a museum exhibit with a huge boat that was inflatable. Anyway, do you have any other parting thoughts, parting words, anything that you hope that tonight and then the rest of this summer, what are you hoping for Yerkes?
I'm hoping that we're just able to welcome more and more people. One thing that we're doing this summer is really opening up more programs for folks. So we'll be having more star parties. We're going to have evening programs so you can come and have kind of a one-on-one or small group experience with the big telescope and some of the smaller ones. We're inviting schools back in, and we'll be having tours 5 days a week once we hit Memorial Day. So there's so many different ways that people can come in. We're introducing a landscape tour. So this 50 acres of the Olmsted designed grounds, people will be able to walk around. There's an accessible trail, so anybody can come and walk around that and learn about our apiary and our wildflowers and pollinators and new trees that we're planting. So there's a lot.
Yeah, there's so much. I actually, even the gardens, you bringing that up, I didn't even realize how much history there is tied in with the gardens. I mean, the building itself is immensely historical, and there's so many like Easter eggs, if you will, everywhere around this place. It's one of my favorite things, but the gardens actually have a really cool history as well. So yeah, if you haven't visited yet, you definitely need to. I do speak slightly biasedly because this place is very special to me, but I'm telling you, it is really amazing. And so please come join. And
Come on. We're
come
happy
on
to have
down.
ya.
Well, thank you. I will let you go now.
Okay.
Do what you need to
Party's
do.
happening.
The party is happening.
See you later.
Yeah. Oh, I see comments. Someone was talking.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Let's see.
Let's
Oh, it's my friend Ron. Hi, Ron. It's my friend Ron.
Thanks, friend Ron. Bye.
Bye. So we are, expecting. We sold 200 tickets, so we'll see if 200 people show up. It seems like right now people are trickling in. The night is young, and and Yerkes Observatory themselves commented saying they're loving the show. Well, thank you. It's like the building spoke to us through the live stream right now. I'm just going to interact with you right now. He's just sitting there. Oh, and Kavi's here too. Hello, Kavi. Thank you for joining. It has been kind of a bit of a scramble to get set up in this space. I was supposed to be somewhere else, and then the memo that I needed power for electronics seemed to gotten missed. So that's okay. This actually works out because it's kind of a little noisy in that main gallery area. So questions. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to stream for about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to take a break and parade around my robot, because that's what everybody really is here for. They're actually here for the robot. So we're going to take a break in about 10 minutes. But if you have any questions about the observatory, please send it this way. I am so excited to, see how this night's going to turn out. We have kids' activities. We have, there's the whole building is open. There's museum exhibits. There's one right behind me. That's where the Carl Sagan dome thing is, by the way. Did you know that? Apparently, Carl helped with that dome. That I don't know. The Kuiper's Field. Yeah, apparently, he helped with that. That's what I was told. So, I am a little bit of a Carl fan. I kind of have his handwriting tattooed on my back. So, just a little. Yeah. The social media team that's going to be doing some PR marketing for Yerkes is right over there. They're sitting there, I think, probably going, who let this woman in this building? Dylan is helping me over to my right. So if you see me interacting with them, oh, hello, Alita. She's asking, is the observatory open regularly to the public? It is now. They took a little break through January, I think, to kind of finish up there's a gift shop, a really nice big gift shop with some of those secular saint candles. I need to get some more of those. You have to schedule a tour. So it's not, you can't just walk through. They are only open for tours, but the tours, from what I have been told, are definitely worth it. They are very knowledgeable, the tour guides, and they can tell you all of the fun stories and secrets and tricks and hidden spaces within the observatory. And hopefully we'll have our turn in the planetarium as well. We're going to take a tour of that too in between the break. But like I said, what is my favorite memory of Yerkes? I actually have two favorite memories of Yerkes. One was when I was pretty young. I was probably second or third grade. And it wasn't Halley's Comet, but there was a comet that passed by. And they had a star party on the lawn. And I remember going to the star party and being really confused why we couldn't look at the comet through the big telescope. And then they explained to us, nope, only the scientists can look through it. And so I guess this is kind of a connected story here. One of my favorite memories then was, as an adult, before this shut down temporarily, they had night telescope tours, and I nabbed one right before it closed. And so to finally be able to look through the telescope myself, that was really amazing. And then this is a weird one, but there used to be a gift shop in the lobby, and they would sell asteroids. And I was just I was fixated with the idea of owning an asteroid. I own many now. I know it's not really that hard to acquire one, but I thought those were like the most rare, precious, oh my God, how do they have asteroids? So those are some of my memories. And I'm really excited to bring my kids here and have them make their own memories at some point down the road as well. Thank you for the questions and the comments. And we are almost to our halfway point. So I'll hang out for about 5 more minutes and then I'm going to take a break. And like I said, we're going to start baiting people. We're actually going to bring on in the next segment either Adam or Matt. Adam from Glass, who is on my show. So Adam is going to come and talk about what they brought, and they brought the planetarium, so that's pretty cool. And then Matt from the Milwaukee Astronomical League community, they will be joining us. I'll show you a little bit here quickly. Before we head out, I do have a little bit of information for you. If you want to learn more, first of all, about Yerkes, here's a little background information. And there's a QR code. So if you have your phone, scan it really quick. You can pop over to their website, score some tickets yourself to come and take a tour. And if any of you who are my friends in real life know my dog, Hubble, Hubble is actually named because Edwin Hubble studied here as well. And so I named Hubble, my dog, that name in honor of Yerkes Observatory. And I think what I'm going to do now is take a quick break. We'll be back again at 7:30. And thank you for tuning in so far. We're going to go see what everybody is up to and come back with hopefully a few more people to come and chat with us. So stay tuned. I have to figure out where my live stuff is now. We're going to go back to live on the air at 7:30. I got this. As people are just running in the background, right? I got this. I got this. We are back live at Yerkes Observatory with the second live stream that we are doing this evening. And my guest, I think you really did run off on me. So, so we are enjoying this evening. We have a great turnout so far. There are going to be planetarium shows that are running every like 10 minutes, and people are absolutely loving that. There is just a great crowd here. And yeah, the turnout has been really great considering the weather is really cold. So if you join us for the first live stream, you will know that I'm bringing on people from different organizations who are coming and talking about, well, first of all, do you have like a Yerkes origin moment story? Do you have a memory of the first time you ever came here?
Yeah, actually, it's unique. Kind of, I guess I look younger with my hat on, wearing flannel. We've been organizing an event, we're running everywhere. So my first Yerkes moment, I actually forgot because I was younger, and then it's been a little while. So coming back last year, I was able to join a star party, and really that was one of the more influential and really meaningful experiences I had, because I could really set up my telescope and share the sky with the hundreds of people who are around enjoying the messier objects. Which we're hoping to do more of tonight, but unfortunately,
the weather has not been cooperative.
It'll get you, but that's something that I enjoy doing, and a lot of members in our club really enjoy. Anytime we can set up a telescope and just talk about what we're spending all night, looking at or staring at. To our wives, also, we have to explain that. But
sometimes the women have to explain it to their men. Don't worry. So actually, introduce yourself and your organization, because we just kind of jumped right into the club. So go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Matthew Renaud. I'm the secretary for the Milwaukee Astronomical Society. I'm also a board member. Involved in the newsletter, a coordinator of open houses, so quite a wide variety of tasks at the Milwaukee Astronomical Society. And for those of you who kind of are not familiar with Milwaukee Astronomical Society, we're a 90-plus-year-old club. We started it was really intriguing, just learning all the history of the club, just like the Yerkes. And there's been such a history of kind of sharing of memberships between Yerkes. So I'm really happy to be part of that. It's kind of a new generation to be involved with it. But 90 plus years of starting out in New Berlin, when you could take a picture with a 35 millimeter, or I don't even know what they were using back then in the 30s, something else. But basically you could see an aurora over New Berlin, like full-on aurora, and it's bright. We have on our website, MilwaukeeAstro.org, we actually have a historian who maintains the site, and there's a lot of really interesting pictures from back then. But like all of us, we live in an urban area. Light pollution is creeping in all the time. Mm-hmm. So we've seen the kind of evolution of our club as neighborhoods have kind of crept up in the area. So we've adapted to. We use a lot of CCD or CMOS, but basically digital camera sensors. We hook them up to telescopes. And that really allows us to cut through light pollution and see really deep pictures of the night sky. One of the pictures we have up right now that's displaying at our booth is the Heart Nebula, and it's really a intricate picture that was taken by one of our members using our club equipment. It's in a large dome and a very large camera and Celestron 14-inch telescope that's hooked up to that. So anyone could learn to take those pictures, and it doesn't have to seem like a daunting
overwhelming experience. Yeah, definitely. When you have a club too, the nice thing about clubs is that you have the ability to try things out before you ever commit to purchasing, if you even want to get to that point, because some of this stuff is really expensive. And I actually was there, and I gave a presentation a couple of weeks ago, and it was so impressive to me. I knew you had multiple domes, but it's a thing when you walk up and you're like, wow, it's like 4 domes on this property.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So if you're in the area, definitely check them out. You said you had some open house dates and different things that you have coming up.
Yeah, if you're in the area, we have a few. I brought some notes with me just so I make sure I say them right. But May 12th is going to be our first free open house. So that means anyone stop on over. After that, June 17th, we'll be doing a summer kind of solstice party. So we'll be doing solar imaging. So you can really take a close look at prominences and filaments and various features of the sun and really enjoy that. July 15th, we'll be looking at another daytime event, the sun, Venus. And then August 18th, September 22nd, and October 20th. If you can't remember all of that,
I was gonna say that's so far in advance.
Go to MilwaukeeAstro.org.
I can't remember more than.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, I have your banner here. So if you have your phone with you, take a picture of this QR code or scan it really quick. Here's their information. I'll play it again before you head out. But
with those domes, it is interesting because, and I get this a lot from my wife too. Asks me, why do you have so many different telescopes? Because I started loving the hobby, and the reality of it is each telescope kind of has different characteristics. You would use, one telescope, you might not use it for looking at the planet or, Jupiter, but you'd use it for deep sky objects.
Sure.
And I think being part of an astronomical club, you can kind of get familiar with your style. What do you like? Do you like using a computer control, which use a hand controller, hook it up, and you can kind of jump around? Do you like that manual experience of guiding, Dobsonian,
like the ones that I have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like an 18-inch Dobsonian through the night sky and experiencing something.
Some comments coming here too. And I was going to say, if you have any questions for him, please throw them in the comments. Oh, thank you, Randy. Randy threw your website in the comments too. So yeah, thank you for that help. We are, you're actually presenting in one of the rooms. A couple of different presentations that talk about like how do you choose a telescope? What should someone look for when they're choosing their first telescope? And I guess for our listeners, if you want to give them like a really quick, you just kind of hit the nail on the head. Though there's so many different telescopes and different reasons to use them.
So many different ones, and very often what we see is maybe somebody gets a gift of a telescope, and it might be a cherished. Telescope, but you might not know how to use the setting circles. There's some very old mechanism for the telescope. Another situation might be you go and get a computerized telescope, but especially in an urban area where we're familiar with this, is you can't necessarily find those initial go-to stars because buildings in the way.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of different adaptations that people who are familiar with using telescopes can really help you learn. And I've learned so much just from all of the club members, people who have had 40, 50 years of experience observing. And when I learned about astrophotography, it was just remarkable to hear Lee Keith, who presented. He would tell me about taking photos of Jupiter using a film camera and just
Right.
all of the different movements that he had, the micro movements he had to manage on a telescope. Things are so much easier now. So if you want to take astrophotography, we worked with a lot of high school youth who come and use our telescopes. We were really pleased this last year to have one of those youth, William, win a national award from the Astronomical League. And really, I'm proud of that because it's really a testament to the members of the Astronomical Society coming together to really train people who are new to astronomy and don't have, they're not coming in. It's not like a club of people who come together with 25 years. And once you hit that 25-year mark, you're like, I think I've earned my club membership. So.
That's the way that they operate is really cool. It's really neat, and it's a great community of people encouraging the newcomers, which sometimes astronomy clubs can be a little bit difficult to break into in that regard. So I really enjoyed my visit there. It was cold then as well, but there was. I mean, for how close you are to Milwaukee, there actually were a lot of stars that are very visible. So it is in a good spot. And when you were talking about your history too, that's so funny. I asked you like, well, who owns the property? And everyone was like, I don't know. Carroll College, I guess.
And that's just part of being a part of a club. This goes back 90 years. All the different histories and stories of people who've been at the club is so interesting. When I use a scope, which is Armfield, is named after there in Armfield, one of our founders of the MAS, it was just amazing how prolific he was in looking at variable stars and recording the brightness variations. It has we've built in kind of the set coordinates of a few of the most common variable stars into the mount itself, just because it's a good example and kind of an honor to people who do that.
Yeah.
But back then, you're talking about you're having to make calculations, and it's just amazing to see all of that. I mean,
it is wild. Yeah. I mean,
we discovered Sputnik pieces, but like that's another thing when I'm going through the history. It's like, oh yeah, by calculating the math of various Sputnik objects, we were able to discover one that was going to crash in Manitowoc. They found it, and then of course the pieces got quickly taken away. But we have a nice souvenir from NASA that we keep in our
Oh, that's awesome. I had my friend Trevor, hi Trevor. He asked where this is at in Milwaukee again, New Berlin area.
New Berlin, yeah. It's on Observatory Road in New Berlin.
He lives in Milwaukee, so you should go. You should go hang with these people. And Randy says, I'm starting to learn astrophotography. It's amazing what a good smartphone will do with the right app. So true. Yeah. I mean, I give so much props to astronomers who star hop. I mean, I am just a child. I'm a millennial. So I am a child of my generation where I'm like, but I'll just do that and figure out what I'm looking at. I don't,
I mean, it was really interesting when we had the conjunction going on between Jupiter and Venus. Our email group is just full of people who went outside. We're sharing all kinds of cool, pictures.
Cool pictures, but it freaked a lot of people out.
Yeah,
Did you see that too? Oh my gosh, everyone was like,
they weren't UFOs. It was the planet Venus.
Yeah.
I love the X-Files episode.
Shh, actually, we're being paid to cover up right now. Why are you? Thank you for people who are chatting in the comments. This is really great. We are really having a good night tonight. I think that the turnout is really solid, and despite the disappointing not being outside on the lawn, there is, again, lazy astronomer, a part of me that's like, I'm okay with that, because that wind was brutal. And that was kind of one of the reasons that a lot of people were like, I don't really want to set up my telescope, and it's knocks over.
Yeah, if you want to be a lazy astronomer, there definitely are a few members of the club who can help you do that.
That's me.
One of the things I like to do in the middle of winter is
Set
set up
up
Wi-Fi senders and be able to operate my telescope
from inside.
And we have that capability at the club. So,
so there you go. They are knowledgeable about how to also help your lazy astronomy endeavors, like myself. Well, thank you for stopping by. And, if you want to stay and chat, you absolutely can. Otherwise, he was all like, how long, how much time do I need to talk? And I'm like, well, you're filling up the time block pretty well. Have you had a chance to go into the planetarium yet?
I have not had a chance to get in the planetarium, but one thing that shocked me was just how big the telescope was, because I didn't remember it.
Yeah, it's overwhelmingly large. I mean, you see it in a picture, and it's big, even with humans to scale. You're like, oh, but when you're in there, that I think it's up above you, and you're just like, whoa. Yeah, I totally forgot how huge it looks, and when.
Just to think that you need an elevator just to get to the telescope.
Yeah, it's really, really, I mean, if you have not made a visit to Yerkes Observatory, definitely I mean, if you've never been here at all, you need to come. If you haven't been since the shutdown, you still need to come. There are exhibits, there are new displays, there's a really cool gift shop. There's so much to see that is very different from when it was open before. So make sure you, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think the fun thing about this meetup that we're having is just we're able to meet a lot of people who are into astronomy in the area, and I think that's really healing after COVID. I think it's really broken a lot of star parties up that would have otherwise been going on. It's kind of brought us back together a little bit, I think, as a hobby community. Most of us aren't professional astronomers, but it's good to be able to meet up and start talking about stars. We're anxious to show off all the things that we've been nerding out about
absolutely.
in the darkness.
And that's
what we love doing, is sharing.
I love that. That's so beautiful because there's such a lovely part about stargazing and looking at the night sky and that unity that everyone is looking at that same night sky. We all have that same night sky. It's such a beautiful and healing kind of thing, especially after COVID. So yeah, this has been really great. Like I said, you were all like, I don't know how long I'm going to talk. And here he is.
If you guys are curious what else we do at the club, let me know.
If there are any flash questions,
I love observing in the middle of Cudahy, Wisconsin. I do some citizen science from there, even with the EV scope. But astrophotography, it can be done in an urban area. There are people, at the club that do that sort of thing.
Yeah, if he's watching, my friend Steve is really into astrophotography. He was maybe going to come tonight, but I don't know if he is. Astrophotography, again, is that it's great to join a club if that's something you're interested in, because as with many hobbies, you can always spend way too much money. And so having a club to be able to borrow and try things out. The EV scopes that he's talking about, they're kind of pricey scopes, but they're really cool because you can download an app and then anyone can download the app and see what that telescope
is. And the fun project we were able to do with some club members I'm still working on is we went down to the Milwaukee Makerspace. And it's a makerspace area where they have plenty of 3D printers. So we kind of all took a class together. One of our projects is building a Hadley telescope, which is you can actually get the instructions to build an entire 4.5-inch telescope with 3D printing materials. So 1 kilogram of plastic, add a mirror to that, and a few other miscellaneous parts, but it really is pretty cost effective.
That's kind of like the Dobsonian telescope 2.0, right? The movement of like, well, all you got to do is polish a nice piece of glass, and then if you get a tube for it, bada bing, bada boom, you got a telescope, right?
I was blown away when I went to Glass and I just saw their 3D printing lab that they have.
I know.
Talk about like bringing people together and like learning about what's available. That was eye opening to me, and just I love how Adam's able to just print all those asteroids.
Yes. And Adam's going to be on in the third segment, which is going to happen at 8:30. We're going to actually be wrapping this up because I have a tour booked for the planetarium at 8 o'clock. Although I guess they're kind of taking their time.
We're running a little over.
They're running a little slow.
Really.
But I've been in that planetarium once, and I'm looking forward to getting in the telescope area again and seeing the planetarium.
Do you have a projector at home for your kids?
I actually brought one of those small projectors. I do have a projector at home. Yeah. It doesn't do any constellations or anything like that proper. This is just sort of a generic like night sky kind of thing. But I think that I'm actually, so this is, I guess, my informal announcement of it. I'm going to be hosting a NASA Astro Camp with Rockford University in the fall. And Adam already offered up that planetarium for me to borrow for the NASA camp. So we're still figuring out the logistics of that. But if you live in Rockford and you're watching this, that is something that I have in the works. Also, hopefully, maybe for younger ages with Discovery Center. So that means really nothing to you. But yeah, last call for questions for Matt. Anything about telescopes, astronomy clubs. There are clubs all over. You're going to find, in my experience, very different club cultures depending on
Yeah.
your club.
Our-
and
Ours is definitely an open club. We very much love doing open houses. That's kind of part of our mission and why I love being involved with the club.
yeah.
And it was just amazing when I first came there. I had no idea this was in New Berlin.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like you're driving in there, and you're like, oh, this is a nice little suburb.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, there's 5 domes right there. So it's very interesting. It's very cool.
Yes.
Randy says, can I bring a Boy Scout troop to work on an astronomy merit badge?
Yes, we offer tours if you have groups like that. We love doing that kind of thing. We just have to find a volunteer to come and do it. But Jill, our president, is right out at her table right now, and she just did a few Girl Scout troops. She led them through,
Which is awesome.
Kind of, she's going on a trip, I know, in June or July with the Girl Scout troop. So, yeah, we love working with students. We can arrange some tours too. The thing, it's always tough with students is nighttime is when you see all the fun stuff. So take advantage of our open houses when we have all kinds of people around, if you can too, because that's always a good opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, that is again, this is why I call myself a lazy astronomer, because like, why is everything so late and it's so cold? And I just like, I will look like there was I think it was in the spring. It was pretty chilly out when it was the Planet Parade. Do you remember that? And you had to get up at like 3:30 or something.
I got up at like 3
did
or
you?
4
Yeah.
at Water Park in Shorewood.
And
I was there with a cell phone. I took my picture with a cell phone.
Oh, did
camera,
you?
so
Yeah.
I see the
I
there are
was
people
like,
interested
I
in
will
that.
look at other people's pictures. You go. Like, but there are lots of people who are very dedicated to the cause. So I'm going to check my time here and my comments here. But yeah, thank you for everyone who's tuned into the second segment. Honestly, it is just a constant flow of people so far. It's been really nice. And so, like I said, I'm going to go take my turn with the planetarium. I'm going to shoot your little information slide again. Oop, that's not
That's
you.
also a good place.
They're next. They're second. This one.
And I just say, if you're thinking about joining a club, it's really our cost is about we're actually offering $46 if you join this week. Mention Yerkes when you join. We'll give you a free year of membership. So that means every Saturday you can come out, use all of our telescopes, and then you're part of the club. So
You're part of the club.
you
Is
can
there like a
join our
secret
meetings.
club handshake or anything?
The secret is be involved, and if you like what you're
then you'll
doing.
really know what the conjunction was. That's the perk of joining the secret club, right?
You find a lot of people that join, and it's fun to come out. And then a lot of times new members will join, and then they're like the first ones volunteer to do these events because they're like, I want to share what I just learned.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's once you get that first look at the moon through your first telescope, you're like, oh, I need to show it to somebody else. Someone else needs to see this. So that's what happened to me. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining.
Yeah,
this was
thank you
great.
for hosting us.
We're going to go
Good
freak
to
some
meet all.
people out with the robot again and figure out where the tours are for this. But
I want to know what stores you're going to with the robot.
I go to Myers a lot. The Myers employees know the robot, and if I don't have it, they're like, "Where's your robot?" Target, really, that's a pretty fun place to freak people out. I've found though some stores are a little too hectic, like Woodman's. Woodman's is it's a little too busy, but there are robots in Woodman's, so I have wanted a meeting, just for and she's actually turning off right now. Well, there's the scanner robots, and they put googly eyes on them, right? So, all right. Speaking of, she's powering down, and she's like, I'm done. So the next time we're going to be live, we're going to be on the air at 8:30. So please join in. We're going to bring on Adam from Glass. He's our last person that's going to come and talk in these half-hour segments. And this was really, thank you. This was really great. And I hope you enjoyed all the people walking by that are like, because that's fun. So we will catch you very soon. We're back with the last live stream segment of this Yerkes Star Party. Thank you to everyone who has been joining in and interacting in the chats and the comments. Please keep them coming. I have with me now Adam representing Glass, and that is the third organization that is here helping out with the Star Party tonight. And Adam also has been, I don't know if you like it or not, assigned the task of sitting in the planetarium, which we just took a tour of, in the chilly planetarium, because if you don't know, observatories are not heated. And so he's sitting in this inflatable planetarium, all bundled up, doing his little night tour. But anyway, Adam was also on the Space Case Sarah show a couple of weeks back, and now here we are. We're doing it. We're doing the Star Party despite the weather. So welcome back to the show.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. So how has your evening been going? How do you feel the first Star Party back for Yerkes has been going?
So first things first, I as much as I enjoy the condolences for having to spend time in the planetarium.
Yeah, it's cold.
I was actually lucky enough to get a friend of mine who not only I met at the Horowitz Dreamer Planetarium, but also spent a year working at Adler Planetarium. She actually wrote the show and has been up there braving it in the elements in the dome for me,
Nice.
along with James Cudworth, who actually grew up on the grounds here, as his father used to be a director of Yerkes. So luckily, I was able to get out of the way of the.
He's in the warmth now with us.
Planetarium.
Yes, it's a lot warmer in here than it is up there. Why don't you explain, since I brought it up, and then we can talk about Glass and everything that you guys brought. Why aren't observatories heated? Why don't you give that little factoid?
So one of the advantages of having Yerkes up here was they thought cold, clear nights would be a great opportunity for observing, because the more heat there is, the more energy and typically then moisture in the air, which usually creates worse seeing conditions. So when the temperature gets lower, you can actually see a lot better with the telescopes, and the optics perform better when it's cold. Especially cameras, CCD cameras, especially modern ones, are often cooled with things like liquid hydrogen or liquid helium, or not hydrogen, liquid helium or liquid nitrogen. Yes, colder is always better for observatories.
But not so much for the observers. That's not quite as fun. Again, when Matt was in here, I was like, I am the lazy astronomer. I let everyone else battle the elements, and I will look at your pictures. So thank you for your service. So Glass, you talked about Glass and your initiatives, but tell us, what did you bring? What do you guys do? Let's just start with Glass and your organization. Why don't you introduce that?
So so I've been with Glass now for about.
Yes.
So I've been.
Any of the best of your objects?
No, not yet. If you do, the MAS has a live view of some images on their table.
Somebody did, but not live.
Live telescope.
No, you're on the
yeah.
internet live.
Yeah, we're
right
on the
now.
live stream.
we're streaming live right now.
Oh, wow, it's a radio show.
Yes.
Sorry guys.
So Glass, go for it. This is the beauty of live. And again, reminder, drop comments, questions for Adam. I'll interact with you, and we'll interact with apparently random people walking by as well. So go ahead.
The Has is a recording in a very busy Star Party.
Yeah.
So this is my 4th year with Glass, and it's kind of always hard to summarize Glass quickly.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we do is accessibility in science and STEM, specifically for communities like the blind and low vision or deaf and hard of hearing. So we have a lot of cool tactiles. So one of the tables we have here, where our president, Kate Meredith, is currently talking, is all sorts of cool tactiles, basically 3D printed things. We usually call it puffy paper. It's this really cool paper that once it goes through a little heat, the ink causes it to swell. So it's called swell form. And you can basically create tactile images that you print out of a normal printer. And so we have all sorts of cool things like that make
That is so cool.
all these different areas of astronomy and other parts of STEM accessible to people. And one of the nice things too is with those tools, they're not just great for students that are blind or visually impaired, but they're great for every student.
Yeah.
It's just an extra tool to learn.
Yeah. we talked about when you were on my show 3D printing asteroids, and I was like, oh, and I think you guys brought some of those too tonight. Did you?
Oh, actually, Amanda has them somewhere here. I need to make sure I need to get those back at some point. But
Well, I'm glad I reminded you because I was like, ooh, I want to see one of those. Yeah, you guys, and we also talked about the sonification on the show, and for anyone who is watching who maybe listened, and I know that was an impossible challenge. I played a sound on the show, and I had a competition to see if you could guess what it was. Just so everyone knows, it was the Butterfly Nebula. But to me, when you watch it, it makes sense because it gets really bright in the center, and the sound amplified as it got to that center, and then it phased back out. So, yeah, I mean, if you can find some of those old posts and write Butterfly Nebula, you heard it here. Thanks for watching. So tonight you brought a bunch of different stuff, and you brought a crew of volunteers. You guys were really kind of the workhorse of the event for this evening. So this is, really awesome. I hope you've had time to stop and enjoy the Star Party nerdiness, right?
I have talked to probably everybody at every table at this point, so I'm going to count that as stopping and enjoying.
Okay. What is the astronomy version of that, of stopping and smelling the roses? Is it like stopping and, I don't know, what's the equivalent
I have to think about
the
that.
metaphor for that? Stopping and observing the globules.
Maybe solar observing. Stop and take a peek at a sunspot.
Yeah,
You can always do it.
I think we need a lot of disclaimers for safety on that, though. Like,
That's true.
just
That's
make
true.
sure you're not looking at it without
Not
a
everybody has a
solar
white light
filter.
filter,
Yeah. Well, so tell us about some of the events and things that Glass has planned for the summer. Matt was telling us he went out until like September, and I was like, geez, man, I can't think that far in advance. But I'm sure as the summer ramps up, you guys have lots of things in the works, including, I've mentioned this actually often to many
Excuse
people.
me, it's an emergency.
Did you find it?
I couldn't find him. I would like you to call police, please.
You sure?
Yeah.
So we're-
Sorry. Actually, you know what, Dylan, would you like to come in? So one of the things we do is dark skies, and Dylan is on our lens project, and he'll be able to tell you all more about that.
Perfect. And then we're going to rope you in to be here. So this is Dylan, and he was supposed to help with my tech stuff tonight, but the way that my layout ended up working, I didn't really need a tech guy, so he's just been hanging out with this weirdo Space Case Sarah. So I really need you guys now to ask Dylan questions, so drop those in the comment. So talk about what he was talking about, the lens.
The lens project.
Yeah.
So that started a couple years ago, back before COVID started. And it's basically a project meant to create sky sensors to measure light pollution.
Okay.
And because the current SQMs, sky quality meters that are out there, they're very expensive. So we've been working on creating a more affordable option so we
Okay.
can mass produce and mass deploy them.
Okay.
Right now we have 12 total. And over the summer, we're probably going to get more.
Okay.
But one of the main issues we've encountered is that every time we fix one problem, like 4 more pop up. So basically, for the past couple of months, we've just been trying to catch up on the bugs and stuff and fix
Okay.
those.
I have to first of all tell you that this is called life, so get used to it. So, did you start as like an intern with Glass, or how did you get involved?
I started as a student back in 7th grade.
Okay.
And then COVID hit in 8th grade, so I missed like 2 years, and then I came back, and then the summer of my sophomore year, I got an internship,
Okay.
and hopefully I'm going to get another one this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I was just going to talk to Adam about. That Glass offers internships in the summer. They have this really cool facility just down the road from here. What would you say your favorite part about getting an internship with Glass is? In your experience, is it hard to get in? I'm sure there's people who have lots of questions for them.
So to get an internship, there's basically 2 routes you can go through. The first one is to be a student at Glass, and if you put in the work and the hours and stuff, you can basically get like fast tracked into getting an internship. So Mari, she was operating one of the stations. She had an internship last year too, and she was an intern,
Okay.
or she was a student along with me.
Okay.
And we both got internships over the summer, but we were the only 2 like high school students there. Everyone else came from U Chicago.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's the other way you get in is that UChicago has a program that helps you get internships, and some students come here.
Some students come from that. Okay. So going back to your project, you said you guys want to get 12 more of these?
We currently have 12.
You have 12, right? And
currently
you
have.
want to get more.
Yeah.
How can people get involved in helping you make that happen?
Well, right now we really only need hosts who will
Okay.
actually host the sensors, because we can pretty much make as many as we want.
Okay.
The only limiting factor right now is Raspberry Pis, because they had a supply chain shortage and they're kind of like the computer of the sensor. So they had a supply chain shortage for the model we needed that lasted like 2 years. So we've been living off reserves, and our reserves are getting pretty low. But luckily, they have started shipping them again,
Okay.
or they will in like a couple months.
Okay. So that's why you're anticipating on getting some more. What does it take for someone to become a host?
Basically, just contact us. We will, if you think you have a good location around the lake, that's primarily where we set up our sensors, is around the lake, because
Okay.
That's what LENS stands for, Lake Shore Environmental Nice.
He's talking about Lake Geneva for all of those
Yeah.
who are tuning in from who knows where. Okay, so if you're in the Lake Geneva area and you want to get involved in this project, contact Dylan at Glass. You need to send an email specifically calling him out, and be like, I saw you on that live stream. Yeah, so what do you hope you're working on that project. Is there anything else that you hope to achieve with your internship this summer? What grade are you in, by the way?
What was that?
What grade are you in?
I'm going to be a senior next year. I'm
Okay,
junior.
senior next year. So what's your hope for the internship? And do you have any plans for after high school, or any dreams, I suppose, more than plans?
So for the internship, I'm hoping we can start on a lake quality sensor.
You guys saw yours.
So that's probably what the bulk of my internship is going to be spent doing, is developing a new sensor that's pretty much going to be like the night sky sensor, but
Okay.
underwater, to measure lake pollution and wake and stuff like that. And then after high school, my plans probably go in. I don't really know what I'm going to go into
Okay.
necessarily. Something either with coding, programming, maybe astrophysics or aerospace engineering. I'm kind of torn
Yeah.
in that, but something along.
But definitely something sort of in the spacey.
Yeah,
something
something
kind of. Yeah, and your internship will definitely help you without a doubt. So, again, anyone out there, comment. We are here. Guests, do you have any questions? We have guests over here. We have guests in the show. No questions? No. Oh, no, they don't want their They don't want their 15 minutes of fame. No. Oh. Man. This has been a really fun evening, though. I mean, we had really solid flow. I can just kind of tell right now by the noise level that it's starting to quiet down a little bit. The brave souls outside. I guess there are some people out there with telescopes, and I mean, yeah, no. I'm like, maybe I'll go out there. Nah, that's we're just shaking their head. No. But I didn't even bring up really quick. You got to be the representative of. You got to be Adam now. So glass. So here's what kind of some of what Adam went over talking about these astronomy experiences for people with different disabilities. Do you have any experience with helping with the puffy 3D printing thing? That's awesome.
No, I haven't really done too much of the accessibility side of glass. I've been focused more so on the sensors and more technical side.
The coding,
Yeah,
the nerdy
yeah.
coding stuff. Okay, so then what do you think of my robot Sagan?
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
So Sagan's hanging out. Oh, she's over there. Sagan's right there. Everything is backwards. So I brought Sagan tonight, which if you're familiar with my robot supersedes my fame infinitely so. But from an AI perspective, let's talk about that really quick. So she, people ask me a lot about her software, her AI technology. She does have some. It's not, anything like Chat GPT level.
Probably on par
but-
with Roomba almost.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah. But she does have something now where she senses if a door is in front of her and she's supposed to walk herself through. She struggles a little bit with this. So I guess maybe my point was, having a lot of experience with machines and coding and stuff like that, she is impressive. But it is not easy, right? It's a tough thing
Yeah.
to do. And so I kind of lost my train of thought here. But what are your thoughts on like AI technology? Does it excite you, or are you kind of camp cautious?
I think it's something exciting, but also nothing to be too like optimistic about because it's still very far off. Like if you look at like ChatGTP or some of the programs that will make like you type in like something into the
Like
thing.
Jasper,
Yeah, it'll like make an image based on what you type
Oh
in.
yeah.
All that you can still see that it's very far off.
Yeah.
Like ChatGPT, you can.
So are you saying Gita won't take over? Yeah, Sagan won't take over the world yet.
Not yet.
No, not yet. Oh man, he's convinced she will, but
Lure you in with kisses.
she does have kisses inside her. That should sound really weird. We are kind of getting to the end of this live stream, though. We're going to start wrapping it up. Any comments or questions, concerns, complaints? Actually, don't give me your concerns or complaints. I don't need those. I always say that. You've never heard me say that?
You never asked me for my concerns and complaints.
No, because you don't count. Yeah, he doesn't count. Yeah, thank you for filling in for Adam. You just really got put on the spot.
I did.
You did. Well, you were helpful at the very end. See, you were waiting around this whole time to be useful. Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to actually probably end. Well, see, now there's a bunch of people logging on. Come on, people, interact. I see 6 of you at least right now. I'm calling you out. Who's out there? You can hear it's getting pretty quiet, but yeah. It is cold outside. Yeah, freezing.
Talk about the inflatable.
That we went inside, the inflatable.
Talk about it.
Did I mentioned it earlier, but for those of you who remember my experience, so I recently managed a traveling museum exhibit that had an inflatable ship aspect to it. And when I say a ship, I mean this thing was borderline. You probably could float that in the ocean and it would do okay.
Imagine an albatross that was on steroids.
It was
for 100
huge.
people.
It was huge. It was I don't even know. Taller than the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like huge. I feel like I have like inflatable PTSD now from this. Like it's like I see an inflatable thing and I'm like, oh. It was really, really big. But the reason I had that is because I'm going to be sailing on the Joydes Resolution, which is a NSF-funded research vessel. I'm going to be leaving in a month for 2 months for astrobiology research. So this ship, I will see, yes. Quite, actually, I heard from people on board the ship, there's so much light on the ship that it's actually very light polluted. So the only time you can see the stars really well is when it's in transit. But once we stop and park, because we run 24/7, the lights are so flooding your view, you don't really see as well as you would think you could. But we are going to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, so yeah, I will definitely get some good views, at least on the way out there. But yeah, so this exhibit was a part of this ship, this project, and so they have this giant inflatable ship, and I mean, I think probably where these picture frames are, that the bottom of the tops, there were TV screens that were going up that high that could roll into it. So imagine like you walk through a door and yeah, it was, oh yeah, inflatables. But so we have an inflatable planetarium here and it was really cool and very popular. So the tours were quite short, but that's okay. It was pretty chilly. All right. I'm going to wrap it up because I think that I'm going to just take the robot out one more time and call it an evening. Thank you everyone who has tuned in. This has been really wonderful. And I know that I'm going to bring up Yerkes again really quick here. Yerkes definitely would love to have you come and visit. So make sure, if you have not been here, to book your tour at yerkesobservatory.org. Again, I'm very biased, but see that man in the corner with the red shirt? It's Carl Sagan. He studied here. It's worth it to visit just for that. Einstein was here. Yes, Einstein was here. There were only 2 places Einstein requested to visit when he came on his U.S. tour. One was Niagara Falls, and the second was this telescope, this observatory. Roman, yes, Nancy Roman, and then the Nancy Roman telescope is going to be going up soon. Edwin Hubble did his master's work here. My little aside, kind of funny story. When I was a kid, we would take tours here, and there's no way anyone knew, but they would walk you up and they'd be like, this doorknob, touch this doorknob. Hubble touched this doorknob. And you'd be like, okay, like it's like the bathroom doorknob or something. You're like, well, yeah, obviously everybody probably touched this doorknob at some
Flush
point.
this toilet.
Yeah. Hubble. You could be peeing where Einstein peed. It's like, what? All right, on that note, it's really funny in my show, in my radio show. Our jokes do always somehow tend to end up into a bathroom joke somewhere. It's I don't know how, but it just happens. So Kavi, if you're still watching, we went there and it was for you, sir. All right. Have a great evening, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us. We had a blast. Oh no, I don't have like a ticker that's like, we're done. We're done. It's done. Have a great night, everyone.